Are you?
If you're on your own,
You're all ready? Okay.
who knows how long something happens.
Seems like everyone's lively.
No,
We got 3 minutes, sort of. Well, wait, once everyone settles.
One of the things
The police chief is slowing things up.
Get to 10 hours.
could be a while.
Yeah, I know, right? Maybe not. Oh, no, I'm not. And we know Tim's probably not going to be here. I hadn't heard anything more. Okay, yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's 7 by that clock.
It does.
6:58 by mine.
Sorry, you're Tony.
Well, you know, time flies.
You just come to see me.
Well, hopefully we
I don't,
can get there.
that's what I told Mike. He goes, yeah, you always think that, and then you never know what's coming.
Yeah, don't say it ahead of time. It's gonna be- Yeah. All right, I'll go ahead. Good evening. I'll call to order the city council meeting for Monday, October 28th at 7 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call.
Counselor Bolton?
Here.
Counselor Pereira?
Here.
Counselor Lomberg?
Here.
Counselor Martin? Mayor Hodges?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. All right, next up, we have ceremonies, appointments, and announcements. There's Red Ribbon Week proclamation for the Brookings Emblem Club, number 265. And I can go straight to the proclamation, but did anyone have anything to say before I read it? No? Okay. All right, no one wants to get in the spotlight.
You're doing fine.
All right, I appreciate it. I need all the support I can get here. Before I read that, I had a quick question though. Is this Red Ribbon Week, the National Red Ribbon Week, part of the redribbon.org?
No,
No, it's not?
no.
Okay, all right. I was doing some reading up on that and I was wondering. All right, to the proclamation. Whereas substance abuse is damaging to our children and is a contributing factor in the 3 leading causes of death for teenagers: accidents, homicides, and suicides. And whereas October 23rd through October 31st, 2024 has been designated National Red Ribbon Week, whereby all Americans can show their commitment to drug-free lifestyles. And whereas Brookings Emblem Club number 265 and the City of Brookings encourage everyone to participate in Red Ribbon Week to establish an atmosphere that promotes family and individual responsibilities for living drug-free without the use of illegal drugs or the illegal use of legal drugs. And whereas the citizens of Brookings are invited to show their support for a drug-free community in which to raise happy, healthy, alcohol, tobacco, and drug-free children by wearing and displaying red ribbons during this week. Now, therefore, I, Isaac Hodges, Mayor of the City of Brookings, do hereby proclaim the week of October 23rd through October 31st, 2024, to be Red Ribbon Week. In witness whereof, I, Mayor Isaac Hodges, do hereto set my hand and cause the official seal of the City of Brookings, Oregon, to be affixed this 28th day of October, 2024. And next, I usually hand this off for a photo op over here. If all of you or a few of you want to stand with me.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Sure. I'll hand this off and hold it up. Is that fine?
Everybody say cheese.
Cheese.
There's a couple here.
Thank you.
And one.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And we didn't even hold it upside down, so.
Did you? Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
So am I handing this off?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Where can we get a ribbon? Ladies, where can we get a ribbon?
Actually, Belinda, did you bring it?
Is there a place in town we can pick up for?
We can, I can probably get it at the Elks Club.
Okay, thank you.
At the desk.
Okay,
Thank you. You better make sure they have them over there, give us a day or two.
all right.
Can we go out there? Can we go out there?
Yes, you sure can. All right. Okay. Moving on to scheduled public appearances. This is a 10-minute limit from Val Early of South Coast Community Aquatics. Want to come up, Val?
Mayor and council members, South Coast Community Aquatics, and we are pleased to be here. With me tonight is Stacy Berkstead, Ingrid Amundsen, Sienna Worthy, and Dan Bratton. So that's only a part of our board, and so we're here to kind of talk to you and let you know how our summer management plan went. So we have a PowerPoint that we will show you, and I'll kind of walk through some of the slides. I'm pretty sure we're going to stay within our time. So this was our 2024 review and possible future collaborations. Go ahead.
Looking for the.
Maybe full screen and.
Is it Microsoft PowerPoint?
Maybe 11 minutes.
$2. Slideshow thing.
Well, as you all know, we had a really good season this year. Very, very lucky, very fortunate. And at the end of the season, we went ahead and did a survey similar to what we did last year. And we had it be just a slight bit longer, but basically people could complete this survey in 1 to 2 minutes. And so this year, of course, some of the questions were, you know, how satisfied were you? And 84% were either satisfied or very satisfied with the pool operations this year. They were pretty consistent with last year, but we had more responses this year. We had about 94 people who responded, just up from last year. So we put it out a little bit later instead of right at the end of the season, just to, you know, have that little bit of space in there. Pretty much advertised it on Facebook and a few other places, and then sent it out by email to everyone who was on our email list. Go ahead. 97% are likely to recommend the pool. That's up 11 points from last year. So we were pretty excited about that. Go ahead. 93% would use the pool year-round. We had asked a little bit of more questions this year about the year-round use, and that's why it probably went down about 3%. We told them we were going to lower the pool heat. Just kidding. Just kidding. So mostly they wanted to know if it was going to get covered before we started using it in the winter time. And so we, of course, responded no, but We still had 93% who would continue to use the pool during the winter months. Go ahead. Our total sales this year at the pool equaled $75,364. That included entry fees, food, lessons, memberships, and pool rentals. Go ahead. So there was $38.50 in pool rentals, $19,772 in memberships. Our big seller is, of course, lessons, is $38,630. $1,844 with our little snacks and some food that we did on our party nights, and over $11,000 in just entry fees. And entry fees are basically just daily use fees, or not even a daily use fee, it's what we call an activity fee. So they'll come for either family swim or for open swim, lap swim, those types of things. We also obtained grants for $21,354. Our goal this year was for $22,000, so we were just under that. We made some incredible partnerships again this year with Advanced Health, Curry Health Foundation, who supplied us with some really good safety equipment and upgraded all of our life jackets this year. The Taloa D9 Nation, they also sponsored several of their members to come and utilize the pool. Wild Rivers Community Foundation, huge shout out. They helped to sponsor our water safety program and helped to sponsor some of our youth programs, including some lessons and some open swim. CASA of Coos Curry County, they were a big partner in providing scholarships to people in need of swimming lessons or memberships or just general day use things. And then the Curry Homeless Coalition did the same thing. And of course, Rotary also helped to run our water safety program early in the year. Go ahead. And just to show you the breakdown of the total financial support, so with the grants and then the pool income and then the revenue that we requested from the city of Brookings at $70,000, that made up our total operating income for this year. And we did not expend all of that money. We still have around $21,000 left right now. We did some financial calculations for the remainder of our contract until the end of February, and we will use an additional $10,530 just in other expenses for just utilities and facility maintenance between now and the end of February. Go ahead. The biggest thing is that last year, even though last year our scanner was kind of off on, and we didn't do a terrific job of keeping track of our attendance. This year, we didn't even use a scanner. We just used our iPad, and we made sure that people were logged in every time. We would have a staff member there and logging it in, or a volunteer from SCCA. And so we got a really good count this year, not to mention we kept track, little ticks on there every time we had certain programs going. We had over 17,000 people uses of the pool this year. And probably the biggest kudos for everybody there was that we never turned away one child. If they came with money, that's great. If they didn't, they still came in and swam. So all of the kids had the opportunity to utilize the pool, no matter what. Go ahead. So what went well this year? Our key accomplishments, apologize for it being so small up there. Our community involvement. We increased participation and opportunities for the broader community to engage with the pool. Our community partners, which I mentioned, many of them helped provide us with some funding. Our water safety program, we had huge improvements in our water safety and just comfort for all ages of utilizing the pool. One of the key elements that we received for a grant this year was to upgrade our life jackets, because many of our life jackets were getting old and they really were not serviceable. We were able to repurpose those and put them in some of the life jacket kiosks around Curry County, and we were able to upgrade all of those life jackets that were not in as good a repair. So we helped to support additional water safety within Curry County. The facility management, one of the things we heard about in the survey was that they said this is the cleanest they have ever seen the facility. And so they were, people were very, very happy with the cleanliness. They were happy with the repairs that would go on a timely basis. We also instituted a security type system so that we had some cameras around the property so that we could make sure everything was going okay. And that way, if there were any incidents, we had some records of them. We didn't need them for that. So go ahead. One of the things that we also heard about in our survey was the city's positive mindset towards investing in the pool. That people recognized that the city was behind this effort in the pool and helping to increase the management and also the opportunities there at the pool. So thank you very much. Lifeguard and instructor training went really well. This year we had one of our board members become certified as a lifeguard instructor. And so he can now certify all of our lifeguards without having to hire an outside source to come in and get it. We told him he was going to work for free from now on, and he said, oh. No, Luke said he's willing to do whatever he can. And it gave him such, he is the Curry County Aquatic Safety Officer, and he also learned so much within this lifeguard training and the lifeguard instructor training that he put together training programs for all of our first responders. Police departments, fire departments, and started some of that within Curry County. Our engagement and participation, we had strong involvement in individual and in group programs, including really, really enthusiastic participation in programs like our aqua aerobics. And I really have to give a big shout out to Stacy here. So Stacy is one of our newest board members, but she really stepped up to the plate. About, probably a month into the season, well, Stacy covered the first part of our season before we had any lifeguards that were able to do it because of school. And then we just, the training and their knowledge of aqua aerobics was not as good as Stacy's. And so we heard from the participants that they preferred Stacy, and we twisted her arm, and so she volunteered for the rest of the season. So we appreciate that. Thank you. And it made the program extremely successful. We heard about it in the survey from several people. They were like, just hire Stacy. So. Our social connections within the pool area were really incredible this year. So I don't know if any of you were able to get to the pool, but one of our other members, two of our other members, so Dan Bratton and Sienna Worthy, they came up with an idea and designed what we call a patron area. And the patron area had some really nice chairs that were donated that Ingrid was able to get donated. And we set up this little fun area for people who just wanted to come and watch their kids, and put a cover over the top of it so that the blazing sun that we saw a few times this summer didn't cook them out of there. So anyway, we noticed that when we have events and when we have family swim, that we have a lot of people that come there to socialize. They'll come there with groups to be able to swim and just enjoy their families together. So that was really encouraging. We also put a barbecue there for all of our rentals, our pool rentals, and people took advantage of that. Our fundraising this year, we had a lot of really incredible fundraising, probably not quite to the level that we were hoping to, but we were pretty busy managing the pool at that time. Go ahead. So this year we didn't do a terrific job of keeping track, but so SCCA contributed over $1,800 in just individual financial contributions, out-of-pocket things that we saw that the pool needed that we contributed. And at the end of the season, we asked everybody to tell us what their volunteer hours were because we didn't track it during the season. And so I'll have to say that we probably could easily double the 764. but, or even, maybe even triple it. So there were a few of us that spent quite a few hours at the pool. Okay, last one. So what comes next? Opportunities. During the summer swim season, we became aware of Crescent City Pool being, they're needing to close, kind of like what we did at the end of the season, to do some resurfacing work, all kinds of stuff like that. And so we started some talks with them and said, what do you think about maybe providing staffing if we were able to come up with some funding for operations? And so we've been kind of in some talks with the city of Crescent City and trying to put together a plan. Excuse me, we are kind of, we're about at the beginning because we don't have really a set schedule yet. They did go to their city council last week and ask what the direction should be for them. Is this something that their city council would support? And their city council wholeheartedly supported it for a couple of different reasons. First of all, they wouldn't lose their lifeguards, the ones that would be able to come and work, because they would continue to be staffed. And Crescent City would continue to pay them, so they would provide all of the staffing for it. And then SCCA would be funding the operations portion of it, if we can put this together. There's still some legal things that need to happen in order to be able to put an agreement together, to be able to come back and just ask the city council here if you would be in favor of us providing that opportunity to our communities. And then we would put together something to do with something like a community pass, so that there wouldn't be any difference between, in resident, out of residence, because the funding would be coming from both entities. So if we're able to put that together and you give us, or feel like that's a worthwhile project on behalf of the city of Brookings, that would be a pilot program for us to be able to gauge what our winter activity would be. If we're able to put this together, this collaborative effort would start to happen in December and would go through February, because those are the months that the Crescent City Pool is going to be closed. And again, we are still in the very beginning stages of being able to put something together. So, and we would be looking for funding on our own to be able to help to run the program. So, and we did have some leftover money from the pool season, but if we were going to need to utilize that, or if we thought that was going to be something that the city of Brookings would like to help with, we would come back and talk to you about that at a later date, probably in November. So one of the critical goals for us for 2025 is a pool manager. So we recognize that without an adequate pool manager, what we did this summer is questionable. So not, everybody has a job, so we are, we're at capacity. And so our main goal right now is to find a pool manager that would be able to come on board and help to run the programs. Additionally, what we would be looking for is a longer season, which is part of our mission statement, and also possibly to cover the pool. So I think I went over 10 minutes, but any feedback, thoughts, recommendations, questions?
Well, I'll just start. I utilized the pool. It was awesome, of course. The lifeguards, everyone that worked there, I might know a few of them. Yeah, they were fabulous. And I saw the cleaning going on all the time, so that was the first time I've seen it so clean. And the water was always so awesome. So it's great that you're getting organizations involved, kind of pulling people together, making sure we didn't turn any kids away. That's really, really important in our community. So I just think it was just a huge success, and I thank you all for being a part of that.
Anyone else? Well, thank you for the presentation, and I agree. Thank you guys for all your volunteer work, and I'm sure 764 hours is probably quite an underestimate. I can only imagine. But please, yeah, come back with the cost of what you guys see for a partnership if Crescent City is able to do that and you are able to get through the wiggle work. Personally, I think it's going to be difficult to, on the other piece, to get a manager to work half a year or not even half a year. So I would almost think that it would be good to look at the risk and benefit of covering it year round, and then you'd be able to have a pool manager because they wouldn't just be here for so many months and then have to find another job. But maybe one step at a time is better. I don't know. But
Well,
thank
the
you.
collaboration with Crescent City could provide a little bit of an opportunity to, because they would provide the management, and Crescent City has a manager, and then they have 3 assistant managers.
Oh,
So
wow.
And they're open year round,
They are
correct?
open year-round.
And not covered.
they are covered.
They are covered.
Yes.
Okay.
They are covered, yes. So, but part of the reason why they are closing this year is because their facility needs quite a bit of maintenance.
Okay.
And so they have major renovation work planned. And as we all know, construction projects don't exactly go on a smooth timeline.
Well, and I haven't personally went up and looked recently, but it sounds like ours is looking pretty nice.
Yes, yeah, in fact, it looks beautiful right now.
Great.
And so according to Tony, it will be done tomorrow. And
Wow.
maybe fill it with water on Friday.
Right.
Great.
Yeah, so we're pretty excited. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just to be clear, because I don't see anything, next is oral request and communication from the audience, but I don't have any. Is that true?
That's correct.
All right, thank you. Then moving on to G, consent calendar, to approve the council minutes for October 14th and to receive monthly financial report for September.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
A second?
Call the question?
Counselor Pereira?
Yes.
Counselor Momberg?
Yes.
Counselor Martin? Counselor Fulton?
Yes.
Mayor Hodges?
Yes,
You have a comment?
thank you.
Motion carries.
I got you. All right, and H, staff reports, public hearings, ordinance, resolutions, and final orders. This is for fire department self-contained breathing apparatus purchase, and I believe Chief McRae is going to speak to that.
Both of us will
Okay.
be able to, Mayor. Mayor, Councilor, City Manager, good evening. I'm here with Chief Watson tonight to talk about the self-contained breathing apparatus that we're requesting. The Brookings Fire Department and the other fire departments within the county are all members of the countywide mutual aid agreement, which says that in times of need, a fire department can call on other fire departments to request assistance from them. As quite often you'll see in the city of Brookings, Harbor Fire Department in the city of Brookings, or the Brookings Fire Department in Harbor, where they have an automatic aid agreement that they'll just go across to be able to help one another to provide the best service for their communities. Earlier this year, Brookings, along with 7 other county fire departments, joined in applying for a FEMA Assistance to Firefighters grant for 16 self-contained breathing apparatus to be able to replace the aging ones that we have, which Chief Watson can speak further on and answer any questions in a moment, but I believe 2003?
Yeah, 2003, 2005.
Is when we purchased approximately, or 20 of them through a grant. And over the years, just with the age, many of them no longer work, or we've had to start taking parts from ones that are working to be able to continue to keep the others that we have serviceable. So earlier this year, we did apply for that grant. Unfortunately, on October 16th, we found out that we were not selected for that grant. This countywide interoperability grant to get SCBA's for all of the county agencies so that they were the same, so that when the fire departments are working together, all that equipment is the same. Currently, it's not that way. If you remember, this was, applying for this grant was discussed during the budget meetings earlier this year, and there was a contingency that we put in. If that grant were not awarded to us, then there was $40,000 budgeted for the fire department to be able to purchase 4 SCBA's. Hoping that we wouldn't have to use it for that. Unfortunately, that's what we're coming to you tonight for, is to be able to then use that money. We will apply for this grant each year, and so that will continue. And in fact, this information is already being passed over to Wendy so that she can help work on that grant next year. There are 2 distributors in the state, C Western and Municipal Emergency Services, who are authorized by Scott to be able to sell these SCBA's and Scott bottles within the state of Oregon. You'll see the quotes for the 2 there. And Chief Watson can speak more to it. They've worked with C Western in the past. They're the low bidder as well. They've worked with C Western in the past and have had good service with them. So we're requesting to go through C Western to be able to purchase those. As far as the details on the equipment, I have Chief Watson here who can answer any of your questions or give you details on this equipment.
I appreciate you taking the time with me this afternoon to help me to understand the SCBA's and the need that you guys have, and took a look at the ones that you're currently using, and they look pretty ratty and ready to replace, and I'm glad that you got good use out of them, and I'm really happy that you guys found a supplier that seems to suit the need. And when we were talking this afternoon, you had mentioned that even though unfortunately we weren't able to get that grant, if we were able to get the 4 this year, then potentially we maybe try again for the grant, and worst case scenario maybe go for another 4 until we kind of get to the point where they're all in good serviceable need. Is that kind of accurate depiction of a?
Yeah, like we were talking, maybe get up to the 12, maybe skip a couple of years, and then if we didn't get a grant to replace back up to the 20, then maybe another 4. But as we were talking, Commissioner, our counselor, is that grants are great, but when you get everything at one time, they all come at the end of their life at one time too. So having some air packs that are staggered, the next person sitting in my seat will be able to we can replace 4 at a time instead of trying to find a way to replace 20. So looking forward ahead, like we talked about. But I appreciate you coming out there this afternoon too.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to explain all that stuff to me.
Anyone else? That's sort of a simple question. 4, are you just basically going to take the 4, lack of a better word, rattiest ones you have and take those out and put these in? Because I can't imagine you're going to go on any run and only need 4 at any given time.
Well, last year we replaced 4. Now we have another 4, and the other ones are still in service. The C Western, they're one of the things are like the chief explained. Our relationship with C Western is that their technician for the Scott Air Packs, he lives in Green Acres up by Coos Bay, so he's down here all the time. We have these packs. They passed their flow testing. They passed all their tests. They're still the packs that are still in service are serviceable. It's not like they're going to fail, but it's just as packs. Say the motherboard's probably the biggest, one of the biggest expenses on the packs. That it's probably more to replace that motherboard than it is that the pack's worth, because it's not worth what it was. So I think it was written in the narrative last year that in 2003, 2005, when we got the grant for 20 of them, there were $95,000 for the total project. Now we're at $40,000 for just 4 of them. So we're just trying to keep piecemealing, and not piecemealing, because the packs that we have are in service. So if we'll have 8 now. We have 5 positions in each engine. So that almost puts both the trucks up to brand new bottles in both engines.
Okay. And then the other, just real quick, the other part was I noticed on the one we are looking at, they're used, the bottles.
1 year.
That's not an issue though? with
No,
them?
that's not
Okay.
an issue.
All right.
They're a little bit shaped different, that Boise, Idaho just didn't like that bottle. So they wanted a more longer cylindrical.
And that's fine with us.
That's fine with us.
Of the original 20, there are 12 of the packs that are left out of the original 20 that were purchased back in the 2003, 2005. And so with the packs that are in service and then replacing 4 each year, that was what we discussed, so that at a future point when those who replace us come up with needing to replace these SCBAs, they're only going to need to replace so many of them at a time each year instead of having so many at once. So
Do they have a service life on them or is it just when they fail, they fail?
So the service life is between 15 to 20 years, and so we're right at that 20 years, to where they're not making parts for this anymore. That's why we have to cannibalize the ones that they're no longer for cost effective to put back into service. So we're saving those for parts that we can put on the other ones if something fails on them, because going on eBay, you don't know what you're getting if you go onto eBay. I'd rather be able to get my parts from my packs I know that were made for that pack, then the technician recommends those.
Yeah, I would hate to think we have people going into burning buildings with eBay parts. That
Right.
They don't, yeah.
No, so that's not my,
sure
that's not my
about.
goal. I wouldn't want to do it either, so.
I don't have anything else on this. Any other comment? We have a motion?
A motion to authorize the fire department to purchase 4 self-contained breathing apparatus from Sea Western Fire Fighting Equipment.
I second.
Call the question?
Counselor Lomber?
Yes.
Counselor Fulton?
Yes.
Counselor Pereira?
Yes.
Mayor Harvey?
Yeah,
Motion carries.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, yes, sir.
And I just wanted briefly, if you didn't have the opportunity beforehand, or if you'd like to go back out and look, we do have the new Type 3 fire truck parked out front, as well as an example of one of the SCBAs that was purchased last year, to see what these look like, and a new set of the turnouts that were purchased. So all is on display if you have the opportunity. And if not today, another time, we can certainly do that.
Yeah, thank you. I was fortunate enough to go look at it as well, but no one would let me drive it.
Keep the keys real hidden.
Yeah, the keys magically disappeared. I'm not sure what happened.
They only give us one, and we want to keep it.
There you go.
Well, if you're not a firefighter, you got to have a CDL to drive a truck in Oregon.
Oh, really?
Heard they're selling the old one.
Yeah, right. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Moving on to remarks from mayor, councilors, and city manager. Any remarks tonight?
I'll just do a short, quick one. Holidays are coming up and safety is priority for our city. We take that very seriously. We will have trick-or-treaters coming out here Thursday night, and of course with Thanksgiving and other winter holidays, just to make sure that we're all driving safely out there and paying attention to our small children that are around, and make it really a great holiday events. So.
Yeah.
I really appreciated the opportunity to go to the League of Oregon Cities Conference with Councilor Pereira and our city manager, Tim Rundell. a lot of really good stuff there. I think that, kind of the best part about it was talking with a lot of the other cities and how, they're able to address some of the same challenges that we face, and the networking aspect of it I found to be really valuable. Anyway, wanted to thank the city for arranging that. I think I'm going to, do my best to make the most out of what I've learned and hopefully share some of those insights from that conference.
Yeah, I had the same thoughts. It was, when I attended the first day, the whole half of the morning was a workshop specifically for counselors, and one of the comments we're talking about kind of in some charters, how many years somebody was in office, and just really how important it is to have a little bit of a longer term, because year one, you know nothing. Year two, you're kind of getting a clue. And it's so true. There's fire hoses of information coming at you. And I feel like it was time very well spent. It was highly informative. And I think it was absolutely invaluable. And so I, too, look forward to being able to share some of the things, especially from that counselor's workshop, was really well done. So I know Mr. Rundell sent out to us all the new counselor trainings that are coming up, and it is a full day. I had already signed up before even attending the conference, and I know it's hard with work days, but where we're able and where we're not, we can share that information. So I think, as Councilor Malmberg shared, just even the connections that we're able to make and hear in one place so many different ideas and of ways that cities are dealing with issues. And I was very impressed by the professionalism and the way it was put on, and I saw how very, very valuable it is to us to be a part of this organization, and how much we can have a collective common voice even in our state government because of being a part of that organization, and I think that's very valuable to us.
Thank you.
I just echo what Councilmember Peretta and Malmberg had mentioned earlier. It was good for me. It was my first Oregon city managers. In California, you kind of get swallowed up out there because there's just so many of them. So many cities, and it's such a huge state, where I felt like this is a much more tight-knit group. And I spent the first, as they were spending time with the counselors workshop, I spent in the city manager workshop, and that kind of brings me to the point. I got to actually meet some of the city managers that helped me do the survey in regards to the overnight beach camping. And I just wanted to clarify a few things. We've had some folks come in thinking that the night that we the council passed unanimously a letter of support to the Oregon Parks and Rec Department. It was not changing it instantaneously. So we've had a little bit of confusion, but I think we're kind of educating some folks. And I just wanted to give the council an update. I got an email today from Justin with the Oregon Parks and Rec Department, and he says he's not for sure it's going to be on the November agenda for the commission. So it could be on the February. So it could be as long as February before we find out if it's actually going to be put in place. So, but again, it was good, like I said, making those connections out there and learning. I shared a little bit with this council, but the workshop that I went to on AI was very interesting. I know it's a little bit, some folks are a little apprehensive with it, but I think it can, just like anything else, it can be used for the good as well as some of the not so good stuff. But I think it's going to change the way a lot of cities are going to be running in the future, as far as grant writing, as far as information, as far as just, taking minutes and those type of things too. It's pretty impressive, the different things that are coming out, and it's coming out at breakneck speed. But I think it's something that if we just pump the brakes just a little bit and kind of see, but take some of the good out of it and being able to utilize that technology for making our community a better place to live and work. So that's it.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else? That's it. Just me, and I'm gonna say we'll call it a short night. I don't have anything additional, so thank you, everyone, and we'll say meeting adjourned.